Hey guys, how are you? What's up? I am Rachel, proud creator and founder of Siopa, Seize Your Passion, and I'm live here from a Facebook group every Friday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time to share with you guys my lessons for the week, my growth for the week, my thoughts for the week, on how to embark on that journey of seizing your passion, i.e. realizing all of your dreams and becoming your best self, and get to that place where you are doing more of what you love and being more of who you love. In addition to by just doing that, right? To get to that place of doing more of what you love and being more of who you love and realizing all your dreams and becoming your best self, one of the basic, most fundamental ways to do that and to get to that place is literally by just doing more of what you love and being more of who you love. And that is the fundamental core foundation of what Seize Your Passion is about. And every week I share with you guys different topics here on the Facebook group live, and different lessons that I've learned about how to get to that place, in addition to just by doing literally more of what you love and being more you love, more of who you love. Okay, so this week, what I want to talk to you about is the lesson that I've been focusing on this past week, that I've learned and that I've reflected upon and started to implement in my own life in order, again, to get to that better place of doing more of what I love and being more of who I love, in order to then realize all of my dreams, live my best life, and become my best self. So I'm calling the name of this lesson this week, reality check, right? And I think for a lot of us, it starts with how we define what reality is, right? And with, just like with everything else, it starts with reflecting upon our own understanding of different notions and different ideas, and being aware of how we think about things and how we feel about things, right? So it's the same thing with reality. And specifically when confronted with a reality, a particular moment in time, a particular reality or situation that's not working well for us, that we is not serving us well, that is not something that is a positive reality, right? When we are in a state of present situation that is a positive reality, right, we don't have the need to reflect upon it or ask ourselves, how do we deal with this, right? Because it's a positive reality. Things are going our way. We're getting the results we want. We're feeling fulfilled and happy and productive and successful, right? So we don't say, wait a minute, how can I change this? Because we're in it and we don't want to change the reality because it feels good. It's great. It's working our way, right? But when we're confronted with a reality, a particular moment in time or a particular situation that is not serving us well, that is not working for us, that is hindering our growth and not allowing us to feel like we are living out our best selves and realizing all of our dreams and attaining all the end results and goals of success, however you define success, again, is happiness, fulfillment, all those wonderful things that we all want to live our best life possible. When we're confronted with that reality that's not positive, that's not working for us, we tend to, I think a lot of us, I know that I realized this about myself recently, that I was doing it for so long without even being aware of it. We tend to deny that reality. We tend to not accept it for what it is, right? We put different stories on it. We put different rationalizations and justifications around it. We deflect it. We shove it under the rug. We don't deal with it. We self-medicate to avoid it. We pretend it doesn't really exist and we deal with other things, right? There's many ways that we can deny or not deal with and not confront and not reflect upon that reality that's not working for us, right? for me, I know my MO, again, without even being aware of it, for most of my life, my MO was whenever I was confronted with a reality that wasn't working well for me or that I didn't like, I denied it by basically fighting it, by not accepting it to be true, because I am a fighter and I don't believe in giving up, and I would fight that reality. No, this can't be happening, and no, this can't be true, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it not true, but it is the reality, right? And anything I would do is not going to change that reality, right? So in order to progress and move forward and grow and get to the next moment of reality that will work to your benefit, that will serve you well, that is part of your positive journey of becoming your best self and realizing your dreams, is by first accepting the present reality, the present situation that's not working for you, not denying it, not fighting it, not, I analogize it to actually my 6-year-old. Okay, my 6-year-old, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate who have kids, does not do well when things don't go her way. Okay, she just does not deal with realities that don't work in the way she wants them to work. She does not deal with that reality well. She fights it, she throws a tantrum, she won't accept it, right? And a lot of kids, this is how they operate, right? They will not accept things that don't go their way. And so their expression of that is throwing a temper tantrum. But quite frankly, what I've realized this week is we as adults, we do the exact same thing, only we mask that temper tantrum in a more acceptable societal way, right? By, again, self-medicating, denying it, pushing it under the rug, pretending it's not there, or what I used to do, again, incessantly. No, I will not accept this. This can't be true. I'm going to change the reality. That's essentially having a grown-up temper tantrum. It's the same thing, right? Rather than being an adult and using the resources that we have within us, and this is a key part of it, of how to actually accept the reality that is in the present situation that's not working for you, right? What resources you can use as a grown adult human being, and I'll get to those in a minute, those specific resources, and accepting that reality for what it is in order to then take the next best step right now, given that reality, that will help you move forward past that reality into the next moment of reality and hopefully get you the results that you want in that next moment of reality because of that next best step that you took, right? So that's a good place, I think, to segue into how do you do that? How do you truly accept reality and not fight it, not deny it, not throw a temper tantrum about it, not deflect it, not push it under the rug? How do you truly accept reality in a way that can help you use your resources to make the next best step right now, given that reality, to move you forward in order to realize your dreams and become your best self, right? So the first, I think, important thing to be aware of, and again, it all always comes down to awareness, and a huge part of that is self-awareness, is understanding. One second. Actually, I want to take a step back into what that accepting that reality really means. I forgot to mention this because this was an important sort of shift for me in understanding it differently, right? So I think the word surrender is important here, right? In really accepting reality. Because for me, again, I always associated the word surrender with a negative connotation because I associated it with giving up and not fighting for and standing up for whatever it is I wanted to achieve or whatever it is I believed in or whatever I thought was just and right? I won't surrender. I'm not going to give up, and I don't believe anyone should ever give up, not on their dreams and on their values, not on what they think is their truth, ever. The difference is when I started to realize that when you say surrendering to reality, it's not about giving up, and not fighting for what you believe in, and not fighting for your dreams, and not fighting for your values, and not fighting for your truth. It's about accepting the reality of the situation that you're confronted with, the reality that is not under your control, right? What is under your control is, again, your resources in how, and using those resources to take the next best step in that reality, given that reality, right? So this idea of surrendering to reality, I don't know, for me, when I suddenly realized the difference in that word and understanding that word, surrendering to it, it made a huge impact on me on making that shift in my head of, okay, I get the difference between it. It doesn't mean I'm giving up. In fact, often surrendering to reality in the way I'm talking about and accepting reality for what it is the most courageous fight you can take. Much more courageous sometimes than just banging against that wall of reality and saying, no, this can't be so. I don't want it to be so, and throwing a temper tantrum, right? So I just wanted to clarify that, because again, for me, that definition of surrendering to reality and truly accepting it and seeing it for what it really is made a huge impact on how I thought about it. So, okay, so it's accepting reality, right, for what it is, surrendering to it, the things that are not in your control, in order to then take the next best step for you that will serve you in the best way possible of attaining your goals or getting to wherever you want to get, given that present moment reality situation for what it is, right? So how do you do that? How do you know what that next best step is given that reality? It goes back to, again, awareness of your own resources, okay? And these are the things that we can control. I'll name them first, and then I'll kind of explain what I mean by it, okay? So your own best resources that are under your control, that you can leverage and use and converge in order to take that next best step when you are confronted with a present moment reality situation that is not working well for you, are your feelings, your emotions, right? That's one. Feelings, emotions, right? And that obviously ties into your intuition, right? That part of you. Your thoughts, right? Your ability to rationalize and justify and analyze and understand and reflect upon, right? So feelings, emotions, intuition, your rational brain, your thoughts, your ability to reflect and understand, and then your imagination, basically, of what you envision or can see or want to see happen in the future, right? That's your imagination, your ability to look ahead and imagine what can be, the possibilities, right? And then what you say and what you do, right? Those are the 5 resources that you have that are under your control, that when you understand them and you're aware of them and you're in that situation where you're accepting a reality that's not working for you, when you learn how to converge those resources in the most balanced way possible, where it's not one or the other, that is how, and based upon that is how you make your next best step given the reality of the situation in order to move forward, right? So for me, again, specifically in this context, I think I put too much weight and I tapped into my resource of emotions and feelings to almost to the exclusion of, or certainly outweighing, not in equal balance, to my rational mind, right? And that resource. So for most people, I think give too much weight to their rational thoughts when they're confronted with a reality situation that's not working for them, right? That doesn't feel good, that's not in line and in alignment with their goals and becoming their best self and realizing their dreams. Most people, I think, put too much weight on the rational thoughts and the justifications and analyzations, and then operate and take what they think is their next best step out of that. Whereas for me, I actually put too much weight on the feelings and the emotions as opposed to the rational justifications. That would always come afterwards for me. And then based on your feelings and your rational mind, the next step that you take is what you say and what you do in order to attain what you're imagining you want to happen for the future, right? So that's how they all interconnect and converge. And so I think a key part of this is really knowing how to be aware in that moment of reality of what you're feeling and what you're thinking, understanding that they're two separate parts of you, they're two separate resources, not ignoring either one of them, and allowing them both to weigh in and converge, and using both at the same time in equal balance to then make your decision of what you're gonna say and what you're gonna do as the next best step given that reality in order to take you to where you wanna go as far as what you imagine your projection is to where you wanna go in the future. So I hope that made a little bit of sense to you guys. You know, for me, again, it was a huge epiphany and a huge realization of understanding this notion of really having a true reality check, especially in moments where reality isn't working our way, and how to deal with it in a way that's the most efficient, effective, productive, beneficial, and serves us in the best way possible in order to attain all of our dreams and become our best selves, right? And it's understanding the resources that we have under our control to make that decision of what the next best step is given that reality. It's understanding that we have to accept and surrender to what the reality is of the things that we cannot control. And in order to do all of that, for me, a key part of it was understanding the separateness but connectedness of our emotions, our feelings, our intuition, and our brains, right? Our rational minds and ability to think and process and tell ourselves stories and justifications and analyze and reflect upon, right? It's converging those two in a balanced way, right? Everything has this duality to it, and it's not one or the other. It's learning how to be aware of the resources that we have within us and leveraging them in a way that's integral, right? That's converging them in the most balanced way so that we can take the next best step, truly the best step for us in the given reality situation. All right, that's it. Hope this resonated with you in some way, inspired you in some way, made you think about things in some way differently. And as always, do more of what you love and be more of who you love. That's the key. Comes down to that. Sorry, I'm always going to say that. Seize your passion, guys. I'll see you next week. Ciao.